You may have heard the phrase, people buy with emotions and justify with logic, but how in the world do you get used to it to use it in the sales process? I'm Sylvan Bell. I'm coming to you live from Sacramento, California, and a perfect day to talk about sales and a perfect day to talk about you. Now, here's the thing. People do buy with emotions and then justify with logic. Like, you don't always know what something, a product, a widget, or a gizmo is going to do for a buyer, but then, like, in their mind, they're like, this is fantastic, I love it, it's exceptional, it's going to fulfill all these things that are going on in my mind, I'll take it. And then they justify with it. They're like, well, it's going to solve this problem and this problem and this problem. But like, how do you get used to asking emotional questions? So first, I'm going to tell you to target low-value conversations, right? So one of the coolest places that you can have low-value conversations is at the grocery store. And me generally, I talk to everybody. And just as a general rule, you're not really going to make me uncomfortable doing very many things. I know that's me, it may not be you. So one of the things you could do is you could just strike up a general conversation about nothing. You're not trying to sell this person something, you're not trying to get anything from them, you're not after a phone number, but at some point in the conversation, you just want to ask that person, how did that make you feel? Right? That's it. That's it. The whole point of the conversation is to get to the point where you ask the person you're talking to, how did that make you feel? Right? And it's training wheels. It's training wheels for the sales process. Very low value. You're not using it with a buyer, but eventually you do want to use it with a buyer. But if you're like, hey, Scott, I'm scared to use emotions in the sales process, start slow and then put them, start slow in your personal life. When you're talking to your significant other, when you're talking to a family member, when you're talking to a friend, just the one question, how would that make you feel? How did that make you feel? That's it. That's it. And then, once you've asked it a couple times, like 5 or 10, this is going to take you a week, maybe three days to a week to do. And then once you do that, you're going to get into your sales process, and you're going to meet with your buyer, you're going to talk to them, and you're going to be in discovery phase, and then they're going to say, I've got a problem with X, Y, and Z about my widget or my gizmo, and you're going to figure out a way to ask, how did that make you feel when that thing broke down, or how did that make you feel when this happened? And then just sit back and let that person talk, and go, oh my goodness, I didn't get thrown out of the sales call. Everything's going to be okay. Here's the thing, most salespeople don't know how to use these techniques and these strategies effectively, and they create their own self-sabotage. They don't have the sales skills that they need, because nobody sits them down and go like, hey, salesperson, you're going to be okay. Everything's going to be all right. You just got to figure out the sequence and the operation and how to use this process, and just ask somebody, how's this going to make you feel? Now, your job is to come up with 15 to 20 different ways of asking the same question or a variation thereof of how would that make you feel? What feelings would you have about this? Like, I've given you 3 or 4 of them already. You just need to come up with like 16 more. And then you just sprinkle them into your discovery phase, because this is the order of operation. You're going to do rapport, which however you do it, whatever you're going to talk about, you're going to go into discovery, you're going to figure out the negative feelings and emotions, and then in your presentation, you're going to tie those negative feelings and emotions to the positive feelings, and then you're going to present your problem, or you're going to present your product, and then you're going to ask for the business, okay? That's how people buy with emotions and justify with logics. A sales tip or a sales strategy for you: start small. Low value conversations. Talking with a stranger is not ever going to hurt anything. You just got to be willing to ask, okay? So there you go. You got one thing to do from here, just one thing. Find the subscribe button and click on it. Every time I send out a video, you'll get an update that says Scott Bell Consultant sent out a fantastic video. You should check it out, which you should. We'll see you soon. Thanks for dropping by. Aloha.